and welcome to my channel. If you enjoy this video and the other content here, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you want to be a part of our community, we have a Discord server which will be linked below in the description. But without further ado, sit back, take a deep breath, and relax. And I hope you enjoy the video. The Dark Prince. Prologue. The Decimation Engine. Minutes after the war in heaven. Michael stood still. Gleam blade gripped firmly in his hand. Blood still dripping from the blade's edge. A gentle but firm rhythm, like the beating of a heart. One that was slowly fading into the embrace of death. The Decimation Engine towered behind him, its unnatural crystalline structure engulfing him in shadow, dulling what colors could still be seen past all the mud, scorch marks, and blood. His eyes slowly scanned the battlefield, yet he had no reason to do so. In fact, Michael wished he could look away, perhaps even fool himself into thinking that the horror that lay before him would not haunt his dreams. But something forced him to look, something deep within his psyche, an emotion he had managed to bury for so long, one that lurked in the depths of his soul, patiently waiting for the right moment to encompass his mind and plunge his soul into the same abyss from whence it struck. And in the moment that his mind drowned, as his eyes began to glisten with tears, he recognized it. Guilt. Guilt. The guilt that the people here all died in his name, for his cause, for his mistakes. He forced himself to look because he dare not allow himself to forget, to ensure that this image haunt his every waking moment and claw at the fabric of his nightmares. That was the least he could do to punish himself for all of this. His eyes slowly drifted towards the sight of the man who but only minutes ago called him brother, one that now hated him. But perhaps not as much as Michael hated himself. I wish I could tell you the truth, but I have to protect you, Michael muttered to himself, his voice but a whisper, swallowed up by even the ambient dancing of the wind. He sheathed his blade and began to walk in the opposite direction, the sun now beginning to set, and the pale judgment of the moon leering in the sky. The soft but solid clattering of his armor, the only noise to fill the empty void of the battlefield. Nobody cried or groaned for help amongst the innumerable dead, for no one had survived. And yet Michael had. He always did, even as those around him were swept away in the hurricane of clashing blades and claws. He lived. Despite his belief, he had no right to. The blood of the countless fallen began to shimmer a dull silver under the moonlight. The ground flooded with the crimson life essence of thousands. Michael wondered where he was out there. The body of the boy he failed to protect, that he tried so desperately to hold on to, but had nonetheless fallen so far. There was nothing left for him in this world. His people, his family, his friends, all lost to the war. A war that was won, yes, but at what cost? He had saved the world, but with one last glance behind him, the sun taking its last gasps, clawing at the sky as the day was suffocated into night, he found himself thinking he had not saved enough of it. Chapter 1. The Feather and the Boy. Circa a millennia after the war in heaven. Carys had only ever seen the Dark Prince from a distance in his years at the palace. This was a good thing. He had heard the rumours and stories about the servants of Bleakhold who drew the Dark Prince's ire. He need not have them repeated to him. They were harrowing enough the first time. The view from the window was a bleak one. Carys chuckled as the thought crossed his mind. What else was he expecting? He'd spent years at Bleakhold, surrounded by bleak guard. A bleak view is nothing new either. The same cragged splinters of rocks clawed at the horizon, the same unnatural shadows caused by centuries of dark magic use stuttered and shifted across the barren grounds surrounding the palace. The view would disturb most people, but Carys had seen it more times than he could count. He had almost forgotten what the world past the boundaries of Bleakhold looked like. Lost in thought for a moment, he had failed to hear the marching of the Bleak Guard, approaching like rolling thunder towards the hallway. Bleak Guard only ever moved in such numbers for one purpose: escorting the Dark Prince. Now, Carys was not a very vulgar young man, but he found only one word springing to mind in this moment. Fuck. Hey there, thank you for watching this video, but just before it ends, I'd like to take this chance to thank all my disciples of Jesus Christ patrons. If you'd also like to support me, you can check the links below. But until the next time, take care of yourself, have a good day or night, and I'll see you in the next video.